Hi, Roger, with the VELCO Weather Hazards Outlook. This is valid today, Saturday, the 27th of December through the 2nd of January, this coming Friday. Well, nothing really in the cards in terms of precipitation, really not much to worry about. We have a little system that's frontal boundary will bring us a few rain showers during the tonight, Saturday night into Sunday, and taper off as a little bit of flurry activity, but some decent project weather actually today, the rest of Saturday, as well as starting again on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We're looking at some pretty good project weather ahead, and good time to take off if you have the opportunity, especially if you've had the wind event spoiling your Christmas holiday. Um, Down the road a piece, we'll have to worry about a gradient wind event, unfortunately, on New Year's Day. That looks to be relatively marginal. And then following that, down the road, we have a precipitation maker that could be more significant, but that's way down the road. And computer modeling right now is only good through about day 6, day 7. And current conditions right now, we have a weather system that's moving across parts of the Great Lakes that'll take a track well to the north of us. It will swing a cold front through later tonight and during the day on Saturday. And then that'll be followed by a big Arctic area of higher pressure that's going to be building in from Canada and dropping slowly through the plains and Rockies and then ridging eastward across the northern tier of the U.S. Here's a quick look at the daily weather synopsis and what's going to be taking place. We have this precipitation maker here, area of low pressure. Again, that's going to be tracking through parts of Quebec and taking most of the snow with it, and snow will remain to the north of us. We have this frontal system that comes through during the morning hours, overnight Saturday night into Sunday morning, and quickly it dissipates out, really not a whole lot going on. Then a larger area of higher pressure builds in. This is back over toward the Canadian prairies. This will shoot a ridge eastward and break off several little small areas of higher pressure, and as it does so, it should keep the influence of some decent project weather going. We do get little bouts of minor flurry activity, generally to the west and north of us, coming off of mostly Lake Huron, sometimes Lake Ontario, but really nothing significant there to mar an otherwise pretty decent stretch Monday through Wednesday. Arctic air does build in, and I'll get to that in a second. You can see this area of higher pressure building in. This would be valid by Wednesday. Some lake effect snows, really not a big deal here. But it looks like conditions start to deteriorate a little bit as we get into Thursday with another frontal system. And this could also bring a shot of westerly winds for our region, that is marginal wind gusts, that could be roughly exceeding 40 miles per hour in a few spots, mostly along the spine of the Green Mountains and points east, and especially more centered on southern Vermont as it looks this far out. But beyond that, models are in a lot of disagreement, and it looks like a fairly inactive scenario here as we're heading a little bit beyond that period until a few days after. So in terms of precipitation, we're only looking at about 0.25 of an inch of precip. Pretty limited here, a little bit more across parts of the Great Lakes. Main storm track is going to be to our south and also across the Pacific Northwest, and then sometimes into California. So where has all the cold air gone? Well, this shades of purple here is the colder temperatures. Eastern parts of Siberia, a lot of Siberia and Asia and Eurasia really not affected. We have some cold air at the pole. That's a sign of the plus anomaly feature of the plus Arctic oscillation. The polar vortex is holding a lot of the colder air, but it had released some of that, and it's coming into North America through the Canadian prairies, and hence we'll see a little bit of that start to make it into Vermont here and affecting the northeast United States down the road a piece here for the middle part of next week. Looking at maximum temperature anomalies over the course of the day 1 through 5, this would be valid through Thursday evening of next week. So we're looking at near neutral temperatures as it is weighted, with above normal temperatures to start the period and below normal temperatures to end the period. Kind of comes out as a wash. But much of the country below normal, and the coldest air dropping down into the central plains. Now looking at that about 3 days later, 3 to 7 days out, you can see again near normal, a little bit colder off to the north of us, again a little bit warmer, holding off a kind of a southeastern ridge, keeping temperatures a little bit above normal there, the rest of the country below normal, and exceedingly so in some parts of the northern plains as mentioned. And a temperature schematic or meteogram from Iowa State. This shows the relatively warmer temperatures in the 30s, almost knocking on the door of 40 degrees. And the forecast for that is to see those temperatures slide as we get into late in the day on Sunday as that cold front moves on through. And we'll get into a period here with Arctic chill, temperatures bottoming out. Daytime highs could be significantly colder. Nighttime lows running about zero or a little bit below zero. Nothing super significant there, but again, we have some Arctic chill. This affects us basically on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, and then a little bit of a moderation that starts to take place. This Arctic chill always associated with a stronger area of higher pressure. When that area of higher pressure exits out of the region, typically you can find a little bit of a wind situation, and indeed that's what it's looking like for Thursday. And looking at the 850 millibar temperatures from North America, you can see the coldest air up to the north of us here. Once again, we have a warm push of air, and we're kind of flirting with that with temperatures to about 0 degrees centigrade Celsius, roughly 32 degrees at top of Mount Mansfield. And so here's how things shape up. We get a little bit warmer, and then a cold front will move on through and start to deliver colder air. And that colder air does make it into the northeast United States. Few panels here not reporting, and then you can see where that ends up here. This is a valid New Year's afternoon, Thursday at 18:00 or 1 o'clock. But the cold air does penetrate into the northeast United States. It has a stubborn time getting further to the south right now because of a stronger ridge of higher pressure. The coldest air, some of that drops into the Great Basin. More than likely is going to produce Santa Ana winds for parts of California and so forth. But Alaska has been actually running a little bit above normal. We'll show you that here. So anomalous temperatures, you see the shades of red and orange, and even warmer than that, closer to the whites, you see those temperatures relatively warm above normal. And the colder air, of course, out west dropping in. This is the coldest air we can find, really not that significant. But the colder air does make it, in fact, into Vermont. And much of the eastern and northeastern United States has a little harder time getting down into Florida. And the coldest air looks like it's going to be in the northern plains, parts of the Rockies, the Intermountain West, the Great Basin. And that's valid through Wednesday afternoon. And then we start to see a little bit of a warm-up, a bit of a Chinook that develops off the downsloping aspect off the Rocky Mountains. It warms up the areas around the western prairies. And some of that warmth then starts to squirt east and moderates us here in the northeast United States, while another big push from southerly winds starts to get into our neck of the woods here. The other thing to notice is what's going on a little bit north of Alaska, and just starting that, you see that this anomalous above normal temperature, we're talking 30 to 40 degrees above normal in parts of western Alaska, usually indicates a dump of colder air through the Canadian prairies, and indeed that's what we have. But it's bumping up against this ridge of higher pressure that's looking a little bit more persistent now across the southeast United States. And so it's being deflected a little bit through our neck of the woods, but it moderates, and so it's nothing as significant as it could be. This is 7-day accrued snowfall. Note about 4 inches in my location. Other areas a little bit less than that, and pretty chintzy on the snowfall department. And then looking at snow depths, 29 inches at the top of Mount Mansfield at the stake. Snow depths are whittling down, 9 inches at Standard, 4 inches in my location, 4 inches in the Barre-Montpelier area, 5 inches in a few spots northwestern Windsor County, 8 inches in parts of Orange County. Pretty chintzy, though, compared to what the snowpack was, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, of course, with that heavy, wet snow loading event that took place. So to recap, we're looking at good project weather. It should dominate the rest of today before the rain shower activity develops later on tonight and into the day on Sunday. We have another very nice period as high pressure builds in. This will be an Arctic high Monday through Wednesday, and Arctic chill does develop. And then we're watching on the end of that area of higher pressure as it departs. We could have some gradient winds, although a marginal gradient wind event with westerly winds, primarily centered along the spine of the Green Mountains and points east. This would happen along about, unfortunately, Thursday, yes, New Year's Day. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights Consulting.